Hey, it's going down, man. Welcome to Live on Edgewood. I am Scotty ATL. We are live at Grills by Scotty on Edgewood. Yeah, make sure you always tune in, man. Live on Edgewood TV. Shout out to my DJ some more. It's me and DJ here today. We kicking it.
Yeah.
What's up? You with me?
I got you.
Alright, it's going down, man. Listen, it's gonna be a very exciting day. It's gonna be a very exciting episode. I got one of my player partners in here. She is actually from the South too. You know what I'm saying? Not ATL to be exact, from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Dallas, around the area. You know what I'm saying? She is well known in the AVN, the ASN, BBW. I didn't say BBL. I said BBW. Yeah, make sure you check in, you know what I'm saying? She got her 8 figures straight. It's going down today. I want y'all to make some noise and put your hands together for my homegirl, Stella Daniels. Oh shit. What's up, Stella? How you doing? Okay. This a real, we can vibe out real quick. Do your dance. Hey, y'all make some noise one more time for Stella, man. What's up? How you doing today?
I'm good.
Feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Better
you
now.
ATL?
Yes.
Okay,
I
you
love
come all the way
Atlanta.
from Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm. Dallas,
from
Texas.
Dallas?
Yes.
Originally?
Yes.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
How's life in Dallas?
Hot.
All the time?
All the time.
No hills, just plain?
It's flat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You grew up what, brothers and sisters?
I have one sister. Well, I have 2, but one of them's a half sister. I've only met her a couple times in my life, but yeah, I have one little sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we want to know more about you today.
Okay. What do you want to know?
You know, I know a lot of people are interested about this topic, you know, and we'll get a lot of time to talk about some of the intricacies, the details,
Right.
the behind the scenes. So I want to.
It's not what people think it is.
Well, we want to know. So, first of all, what is it that you do? What is your profession?
A porn star.
Okay.
So I shoot professional porn.
Okay.
For companies like XL Girls, which is a score brand, Plumper Pass, Jeff's Models. Those are the 3 main ones. I've done some other work for other companies, but they're not as big as those 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get started in this business?
Actually, Plumper Pass reached out to me. So
Okay.
I didn't even like Plumper Pass.
Who is Plumper Pass?
So Plumper Pass is like the biggest BBW site in the world. Like
Okay.
it's like one of the top, like all they shoot is BBWs, SS BBWs, which stands for supersized BBWs.
Okay.
So that's like their thing. And they found me on Twitter, and he was like, I want you to shoot for me. And I was like, I don't know about that.
What was you doing on Twitter? Was you already living the life on Twitter?
Not
Twitter
really.
Is a place.
Not really. I mean, I was doing like OnlyFans stuff and like, but I used it for my other thing that I do. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. What you mean? What's your other thing you do?
I sell coochie.
Okay, so you was using Twitter for that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay.
So that's what I was like mostly using Twitter for. And then when they found me, I was like, I don't know, because like escorting is different because it's like very behind closed doors.
Right.
Like you can use fake names. I mean, in porn you can too, but like you can even use fake pictures. You know what I mean? Like I could find someone who's got a body similar to mine, or even use my own photos and blur out my face, which is what I did at the beginning because I am a mom.
Right.
So I tried to stay behind closed doors, but then like once they reached out, I was like, dang, like this could really elevate my money. So I had to take into consideration like me being a mom. So I had to like contact a lawyer, make sure that everything I was doing was legal, which it was, because I just didn't want to get my kids taken away or anything like that. Yeah, they said go for it. The lawyer was like, go for it. So I did, and here we are. I was a year I had only been shooting porn for 8 months, and I had gotten my first nomination.
Wow.
So that was like kind of an eye opener, but it did help elevate my other business as well. Gotcha. So it's all kind of gone full 360. It's been nice.
And so when you started, did the money just start rolling in, or is it some businesses you get into, you have to work for like 2 to 3 years
yes.
to really make a name? Is it instant money?
No.
Really?
So like you get paid a good like lump sum at first,
right.
But like when you shoot for professional companies, you don't get like, you know, paid per views and stuff like that. So the whole gist of me like filming for like bigger companies was so that I could essentially get on OnlyFans. I have my own website, like www.stelladaniels.com and stuff like that. So now more people around the world could find me. So because Plumper Pass was so big, like now I have fans in like Japan, China, you know, like places that I probably wouldn't have been able to reach without Plumper Pass. Oh. So that's kind of that's really what porn is for. It's for your own personal use, or, you know, like if you escort on the side, you can make a lot more money by seeing a fan, you know what I mean? So that was my whole thing about doing it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Make some noise for Stella real quick, y'all. So I want to know, DJ, don't you drop that phone no more during the episode. Put that shit on the floor. I want to know. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I want to know. I'm sure some of the people want to know. What are some of the pros and the cons of being in the business? Because I'm sure everybody just see the pros. They think you just having sex all the time. But there's ups and there's downs. Tell us about both of them.
Wow, there's a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna start with cons, okay? Cons are you might not always necessarily be attracted to the person that you have to film with, which I'm not attracted to 99.9% of the people I have to film with, which is fine, you know what I mean? But lots of lube is used.
Really?
Yes.
That ain't good for what you trying to do.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by that?
I don't use lube like that, so I don't know what's bad about using lube.
There's nothing bad about it, but like you want the natural juices. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like when you're not like attracted to the person, like you're not gonna naturally get wet. Does that make sense?
So you got to use the lube.
Yes.
To get in the mood.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, the people you're not attracted to, penises that are ugly. You know what I mean? I deal with a lot of that. People who, like, when you're a good performer, people think that, oh wow, like because she's a good, like they think essentially that I'm really into them. So then even after the scene, they're trying to like push up on me, and it's like, no, I'm just good at what I do. Leave me alone. You know what I mean?
They thought you really liked them, but you were really just doing your job.
Precisely. Yeah. So, I mean, the cons are the money. I mean, the pros are the money. Right. You know, like that's gonna always be a factor. I've met a lot of really good friends in the industry, I will say that. Chanel Barbie, Ashley Garland, those are like my two best friends. And I probably never would have met them if it wasn't for shooting porn. Wow. So, yeah, the people I meet, you know, I've made some great friends. I am a part of this little group called PMG Girls. Right. So they're like family, they're like home. So it's nice. We all look out for each other. That's
cool. So there is a community of women and or people that are actually looking out for one another.
Correct.
It's not all just take from you.
Right. No, like PMG Girls, he like did my website for me. You know, he's done a lot for me. He's the one that helped me get the ASN award, which ASN is like swingers. So like it's like the big swinger community. So that was different, you know. That was cool. I've dabbled in the swinger community, but that was like real swingers, but it was fun. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Stella. So surgeries are so popular these days, so I have to ask this question. Have you had any surgeries on your body? And if not, would you, and why?
I have not had any I have not had any surgeries, but I do get lip filler. But I don't plan on having any surgeries. I feel like the men that I'm attracted to are attracted to me regardless, and I don't feel like I need to change myself to accommodate somebody else. But I will say that I do think that women who have their bodies done are beautiful. I don't see anything wrong with that. If that's what makes you feel better about yourself, go for it. But me personally, nope, not doing it.
So take us back a little bit. When you grew up, how was your household? Like, mom, you grew up with your mom and your dad?
No, so my dad really wasn't in my life, and no, I don't have daddy issues. But my dad wasn't in my life. My mom was with a woman for 15 years, so I grew up with two moms and my little sister. We lived a pretty decent life, you know what I mean? Suburbs and all that, but yeah, I mean, we had our struggles, like we did live on like the east side of McKinney for a while and stuff like that, which the east side is like, you know,
the hood.
Yes.
Okay.
So the house that we actually lived in got condemned by the city of McKinney because it was considered unfit to live in. So then my mom moved us to the west side, and things just kind of took off from there. So,
and it's funny you mentioned like, no, I don't have daddy issues.
Sure don't.
So, but and I talk about this a lot though, because people do relate women that's in this type of industry with
daddy
the absence of a father.
Correct.
You said he wasn't there.
Right.
What do you mean when you say he wasn't there?
Like, I saw him maybe 2 times a year if he wasn't on drugs.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, my dad was big into drugs, you know. It ended up taking his life in 2013. But you know, when he was around, he was a good, but I had everything. Like, my mom gave me everything, you know, like that she could from a mother standpoint and a father standpoint, essentially. So it's like, I know that there's 2 different variations of it, but I lacked nothing growing up, I felt like. So, but people do associate this business with having some type of daddy issues. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're good at what you do, you're good at what you do, regardless of your issues that you have at home. So.
But I want to stay there for a second, because when you say, all right, what does daddy issues look like to you? So are you saying the absence of him being of him not being there didn't affect you? That's what you're more so saying.
Correct.
But there was things a part that he played in your life that you feel like hurt you, or do you feel like that?
Yes and no. Like, there's a couple of things I can think of that affected me, which was like, you know, not having a father figure for like donuts with dad, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But ultimately, like, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. If anything, my mom saved me from a world of heartache, you know? So I really don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Wow. I can understand too, and kind of empathize, because I grew up in a single parent home, me and my mom.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
My dad wasn't there, and I feel like we all lose something when the dad is not there. You know, it's different for different people.
Right.
And then it may come out in different ways as we get older.
That's
Some
true.
people get involved in drugs. Some people's thing is alcoholism, you know, fame. Some people's is sex, you know. So that's why I asked, to kind of just understand, like, you know, if it did have any effect.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like it really did. I mean, I had a great life, so.
So in school, let's say high school, elementary school, what year did you feel like you got involved in sex?
I mean, I lost my virginity before I went into high school. So like when I was like 15, I think, or something like that. But I really didn't have a lot of sex in high school. For me, I think it was like the older I got, like I always tell people, for me, my age that I had like my aha moment was 24. So 24 for me, I just felt like things that my mom had said were like, oh my gosh. Like I started learning more about my body and like the taboos of sex and like how people, you know, make it seem like using toys while you're having sex is, you know, like not okay. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, like, so it was just like 24 was like my turning point. It's whenever I started kind of dabbling in different things and different fetishes that I personally have.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Make some noise for Stella, y'all, please. So you have kids
I
now.
do.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How many girls? How many boys?
I have 2 girls and a boy. So my 2 oldest are girls, 12 and 10, and then my heart and soul, my baby boy is 6 years old.
Okay, all right, okay, 12, 10, and
I love
6.
my girls too, don't get me wrong, but there's just something else with a boy. I don't know how
I
to
hope
explain
they don't
it.
see this.
They might. Girls, you know I love you.
So, what's your relationship like now with your kids?
Amazing.
Really?
I have a great relationship with my kids. I'm learning that fine line between being a parent and a friend, because my oldest expects me to be her friend when ultimately I'm her parent. And so we're going through the whole like preteen, she's just got her first crush. They text each other. I'm trying to maneuver that situation. Yeah. Like when I get back home, she's like, Mom, I need you to please take me and get my nails done. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, lovely.
But
so I'm going through that.
That's cool.
That phase, but.
Did they know what you do?
Unfortunately, they do.
Wow.
They do because a family member outed me. So, but I kept it a secret for years. But ultimately, a family member outed me, and I had to sit. Luckily, my son, he's 6, he doesn't understand. So, like, he wasn't really in that conversation. But my girls were getting old enough to say, okay, like, Mom makes a lot of money. Mom has a lot of this. Like, she's at home all the time. Like, how do you make this kind of money, but you're at home all the time? Because their friends, parents who make a lot of money are never home. You know what I mean? So it was like they started finally asking questions. And then my kids are nosy. They're not supposed to be in my room, but they were. And like, they saw photos of me in like lingerie, some naked photos. Like, they saw my business cards. And I'm like, so then when that happened, I had to tell them that I did plus size modeling. Like, oh, Mommy models lingerie, Mommy takes sexy photos.
Right.
And like, then they were like, oh, okay. And then actually recently, a family member outed me, and that was really hard. For like, I think I cried for like a week straight.
What do you mean when you say they outed you?
They told my kids exactly what I did. Like, they told my kids, my kids were, I guess my kid had asked, what does my mom do for work? Even though I've told them over and over, I do multiple different things. I just opened my first Airbnb in Egypt. You know, I have so many different things that I do. So, but she ended up, like, when I asked my child, I said, what exactly were you told? And she said that, you know how babies are made? And I said, yes. And she goes, well, you do that, but for money. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So we had to have the conversation.
And you approached this family member?
I did. I went over to her parents' house, hoping she'd be there because she's usually there, but she wasn't there. But I pretty much have just written it off completely. Like, ultimately, all I'm asking from her at this point is an apology. Like, because I can forgive, but I'm not gonna forget. But I haven't even gotten that. I haven't even gotten a I'm sorry or anything. So as of this point, she's completely non-existent to me.
Do you think, how do you feel about the way this may affect your kids later in life? Or do you think it's going to affect them?
Yeah, no, I'm so afraid that it'll affect them negatively. But I've always prided myself on an open household. I came from a very open household. So all I can do is be honest with them and push going to college more than, you know what I mean, than the average person, I guess, because nowadays college is like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, like people don't push that on their kids really anymore, because it's like, oh, you can be something just by being on the internet. And like, I feel like at the end of the day, yes, that's great, yes, you can make a lot of money by doing that, but not everybody succeeds in that. So, you know, you have this studio, someone could come in here and take this from you at any moment.
Right.
The bank could come in here, somebody could come in here and take this from you. But when you go to school and you get an education, nobody can take that from you. You know what I mean? So I pride myself on really hoping that they go to school and pushing going to school. My kids are mixed, and my kid's grandma is a doctor. And so she was a part of AKA, Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Okay.
And so my daughter is a part of Jack and Jill of America, which is like a really good like group of people.
Yeah.
And she really wants to be a pediatrician. So all I can do at this point is just keep pushing her. She just started middle school, and next year we're starting college tours. So that's really all I can do, is just keep pushing her towards becoming something other than what mommy was.
Make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. Okay, Stella. Going down. Stella Daniels in this thing. You know you can't go on the Grills by Scotty and not get a grill, right?
I know, I'm excited.
Okay, I gotta do you something nice.
Okay,
What you thinking about doing, the top or the bottom?
the bottom.
The bottom grill?
Yeah.
You ever seen somebody? Who was the first person you saw with a grill?
I don't even know.
I'm sure you.
What? Who's the person that sings that song? Let me see you grill.
Paul Wall?
Yes, I think it was Paul Wall.
Paul Wall's a good answer though. I fuck with Paul Wall. That's actually when I first got started doing grills. I almost went into business with Paul Wall.
Did you?
A lot of people don't know that. Yep. He was giving me a lot of tips, and we almost did this thing where I was like going back and forth from Atlanta to Houston, getting my grills and working with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got music together. I knew him before I got into the grills business. Yeah, I've been knowing him for a minute. I've been to his house, recorded, all kind of stuff.
What made you get into grills?
A friend of mine asked me to do it. I really didn't want to do it, but I was popular in Atlanta, and so I was doing a lot of music stuff, and I went, checked it out. It was a dope spot. It was a dope thing.
Okay.
Left, saw my homeboy at the strip club, actually, and he had just lost his job. He was a dental assistant. I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said, man, I want to do grills. So we went and did it. Right then, I took him up there. So I've been
Here
doing
we
it
are.
ever since. Yep. Ever since then. All right, let's go. Open. All right, bite. Stay like that. All right. I know a lot of y'all want to put something in Stella Daniels' mouth like I just did, but you can't. Listen, did you know that children smile up to 400 times a day, while adults only smile around 20 times per day? This is probably due to the fact that children have fewer responsibilities than adults and way less much to worry about. This is your smile fact for the day, brought to you by your boy Scotty ATL, Grills by Scotty, Not Yet, and Dutch Lee. Let's get into it, man. Stella, what's happening?
How do you feel like, or does your profession affect your relationships? Like romantic relationships?
Yeah, so for a while it really affected a relationship that I was in. Just constant belittling, just very verbally abusive relationship. And so, because at the end of the day, it's like, you think it's cool, right? Like whenever your partner's like, oh, I met someone who's a porn star, like, oh my God, this is gonna be great. But then like once you actually fall in love with that person, you don't want them to be with other people. But it's like, this is the space that you met me in my phase of life, and you chose to be in this, and now you're wanting to change me. So that was kind of hard, but like I'm currently in a relationship that is so supportive, very supportive of my job. Yes, he wants me to retire at some point, but he hasn't really put too much, on me to retire right now.
Right.
So, because I'm nowhere near ready to retire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it affect your desire to have sex? in that relationship, your profession?
No, I like having sex with that person.
Wow.
So it's like I enjoy sex with that person, but other people, it's so hard. It's like I put up a brick wall. So it's like I become a completely separate person whenever I'm in Stella mode or Trinity mode versus like who I really am. You know what I mean? Like it's completely different. It's so hard to explain unless you do it, you know?
Yeah.
But completely two different people. I have a really good way of like prioritizing and sectioning, you know what I mean? Different stuff. So
that's good. A lot
yeah.
of people not able to do that. Do you, so in this lifestyle, I know that there's regular checkups. Y'all probably get checked up more than just
Correct.
the average person.
Yes.
Is it every time y'all shoot, y'all get checked up on?
Yeah, so every time before you shoot, they typically want to test within like 72 hours, right? And like it's different because like say someone regular goes to the doctor and they get a checkup, they might just take some blood and urine, right? But like for us in the industry, we have to use what's called TTS, which is like talent testing services, which is strictly for the porn industry. I think anybody can really use TTS, but it's geared more towards keeping everybody in the porn industry safe, because when something breaks out, they notify people. And then like say you shot with somebody a week ago and they, you know, and then they retested and they pop for something, well, they're gonna notify you. Hey, they're not gonna give you a name, but they're gonna say, hey, somebody that you shot with has popped positive for this, you need to go get tested. So it's very like, and then also with TTS, you have to get your throat swabbed. Even if you don't do anal, you have to get your asshole swabbed. You have to get blood and urine. So it's like, because a lot of people will do blood and it's like, oh, you pop for chlamydia. But if you don't swab the throat, you could have chlamydia in your throat and it's not gonna come up on a blood test. So yeah, so a lot of people don't know that. So you know what I mean? You have to stay on top of it. So just so y'all know, us porn stars are very clean, okay? I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Okay.
And we get tested at a minimum every 3 months, but it can be more than that if you're, you know what I mean, shooting back to back or more regularly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about from a mental health standpoint? Do they offer anything?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's like, I think it's called like pineapple something, pineapple help, or they have a lot
they don't
of.
talk about the mental health aspect a lot of it.
I feel like nobody really talks about mental health, if you want me to be honest, like even outside of my industry. But yeah, they really don't talk about it as often. But I will say, like here in the more recent years, it has become more prominent, you know, like, but the pineapple thing, I've never contacted them because I don't really feel like I need that in this moment in time. But I do know a lot of people who use it and it's good for them and it helps them, and kudos to them.
Yeah. I think that the mental health aspect of it is very important too, though.
Yes.
Because like you said, you have to section off stuff so much in the industry that you're in, that I feel like there's got to be a level of pain that comes from as well, like you saying, the way you being treated in the sexual environment.
Yeah.
That can also affect you though mentally.
No, for sure. It's so hard because it's like, say I go do a shoot, or I have, you know, a client that I'm seeing, and then it's like I have to shift into that person to be what they need me to be, and then I have to go straight home and I have to shift into, you know, soccer mom and basketball mom and like homework mom, and like, so I do a lot of shape shifting to please every single person in my life, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. My last question is, if money wasn't an issue, right? You didn't have to worry about money at all.
Yes.
You could start all over the day. What profession would you go in, and why?
I would be a lawyer because I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I'm actually going to go back to school when my baby is 10. So I really only have like 4 credits until I can apply for law school. So I just need to knock those 4 credits out and then go to law school. But I've always had a passion for family and criminal law. So that's what I'm going to go into.
That's dope. Man.
Yeah.
Make some noise for Stella, man, please. Okay, I gotta tell you that I feel very glad to hear how honest things turned out to have to be with your kids.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't necessarily like, I'm going in this to do this, I feel like that happened for a reason, and that is going to help them more in the future than it will hurt them. Because I think them not knowing and finding out.
Exactly. That was my biggest thing. It's like I didn't want them to find out as young as they are.
Right.
I planned on trying to tell them when they were like older teens or like early 20s. But I have to think like the amount of kids who watch porn and people in general who watch porn. And I was like, I would hate for them to be at school and their friend be like, is this your mom?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like now if that were to happen, I hope that I've raised my kids enough to be like, yep, that's my mom. You know, versus like, and then them fall apart and start crying, like them already be like, oh, I already knew. You know what I mean? Like, I'm proud of my mom. My mom takes great care of me, you
And
know?
y'all had an open relationship where y'all can talk and you can manage anything that comes their way, you could be there for them.
Exactly, yeah.
We're proud of you, Stella.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Listen, thank you for coming here on Live on Edgewood TV. Thank you for coming to the ATL to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal. I wish you much success.
Thank you.
In business, in family, that you continue to elevate, that you continue to get new clients.
Yes, come on.
But thank you for sure, man. We appreciate you, all right?
Thank you.
Make sure y'all follow us, man, Live on Edgewood TV. This your boy, Scotty ATL. Shout out to our sponsors, Nayet, Dutchley, Reels by Scotty, man. Checking in, checking out. This is your boy, Scotty ATL. Let's get it.